All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. Tough one today, guys. A very tough loss by the Giants. And if you watched the pregame show, I told you what I thought would happen. Not what I was hoping would happen, but exactly what I thought would happen. Almost down to the exact score. This team, I said they would find a way not to win this game. And they did exactly that. Matt Chapman played a great game today. 3 for 4. I don't know if he had two triples or if one was a ground rule double early in the game. I can't remember, but the triple in the 8th inning was exciting, was great base running, hard base running. You can't fault him for that. 100% effort. The dude is a baller. But he tried to play hero ball instead of waiting for his teammates. You don't make the first out at home or third. You don't make the first or the last out. Cardinal sin in baseball, right?
Cardinal rule.
Don't make the first out at or last out at third. Last out at home of the inning, not too bad because you're trying to score. It's a bang, bang play usually. But making the first out of the inning at home, I don't know what he was thinking. That was a hard hit ball to short. And I got to go back and look at the play. I can't remember if the infield was playing in or just medium depth. Maybe somebody can remember that. But rough loss. And, but guys, we'll get into the game here a little bit. Want to just thank you all for joining. We are NorCal Sports. We are here on YouTube, also found on X, formerly known as Twitter, Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and if I missed any, I think that covers most of them. We're not on Twitch yet, but we need to work at that. So Shota says, I believe infield was in. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. But then Mark Hanna, did you see the game, Los?
I did not. I took a few days away from sports altogether.
Okay.
Just got out of town, went up to Prescott, which
Good for you.
well,
I love Prescott.
And got to some little cooler weather. The only sports I watched was USA winning the gold medal game. So kind of caught up with everything tonight. Watched some highlights of the Niner game. Watched some highlights of the Giants. So yeah, I'll free flow it as we go. Awesome.
Well, let me just check something here. I'm looking. Okay. Yeah. Mark Hanna hit the ground ball on the play that Chapman hit a triple, leadoff triple. Infield, from what Shota is saying, that the infield was playing in. 5-4 game. Giants were trailing. Bottom of the 8th, no out. Chapman hits a beautiful blast to right center, goes flying around second, dives into third headlong. No throw, really, I think, but he was flying. And next batter, Canna, comes up, hits a one hopper, I think. But pretty hard ball hit to short. And Chapman's out by 50 feet. He gets in a rundown. The only good thing he did was got in a rundown long enough to get to second base. But you don't break on the infield playing in on a ball hit right at the infielder with no outs.
He's a veteran. Supposed to know that.
And just, Cardinal, 101 baseball, right?
Yep.
Then Canna is able to get to second. Next batter, trying to recall. Let me look at the box score and see who was batting.
What inning did that take place?
Bottom of the 8th. Giants were down. I want to look at the box score here. Hold on here. Giants. Okay. after it was Chapman and Cannon, Bailey, who's like in a 1-for-40 slump. Ridiculous. And we'll get into Patrick Bailey. I've been telling you guys that I told you what Patrick Bailey was going to do when he was hitting 290. I said he's going to end up in the 240 range, which I'm okay with if he averages 240 all year. Just kind of stay in that range. Don't be a 290 hitter and then an 090 hitter. It's
could he be wearing down again like he did last year? Well, he put on the extra weight in the offseason to avoid that.
They rely on him too much.
Yeah.
They don't use the backup catcher enough, the Giants, in my opinion. He's not Buster Posey, okay? He is defensively a great framer and, great pop time, and he steals some strikes and he does all that. But if you want a guy to last and be effective when you really need him in August and September, you got to kind of slow play him a little bit in the beginning of the year. You can't wear these guys out. So anyway, Mark Canna's on second. Bailey hits a ball up the middle that the pitcher leaps and snags. He didn't leap, but he kind of went up, snagged it, turned, which you're taught to do, looks at second, and of course Canna's caught off, and so they get him in a rundown, and he's tagged out. But Bailey isn't able to get to second base. So instead of man on third, nobody out, they have 2 men on, or 1 man on and first base, 2 out. Runner on first, 2 out. Now, I do not fault Mark Canna nearly as much as Chapman. Chapman saw the play in front of him, but so did Canna. But when you're playing ball, guys, you take a lead. And then when the pitcher goes into his windup, you take another lead.
Creep off.
You take a couple of steps, and as the ball is hit up the middle on the ground, your kind of first reaction may not be always to go forward, but it's not always going back. You're more like frozen.
You also have to know your surroundings too, because remember, this brand of baseball, guys that are playing in the infield are not at the normal spots that they are all the time. They're playing crazy shifts. You got the shortstop playing practically behind second. So as a base runner, you have to be aware of where guys are. So when you see the ball hit, you got to know, oh, that's where nobody is. I can't get to third, or that's right to somebody. I need to stay where it is. That is the mental side of baseball that is prevalent more than any other sport. You need to know.
Absolutely. And, it was just not good baseball the Giants played. Birdsong got hit pretty hard today. Kind of what I expected. Guys, he went 4 1/3, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, a couple of long balls he gave up. Home runs today leadoff homer by Matt Vierling for Detroit. And then another long ball was hit by who hit that other one? Dingler with a dinger. How's that for a name? Dinger.
How about that name? Jeez. I'm guessing if he gets married, his wife keeps the maiden name. Jesus, man. I'm not taking that last name.
Dingler. Oh, man.
Mrs. Dingler, how are you today?
Oh, gosh. All right. But, I kind of expected a little bit of I kind of expected this today with the Giants. I kind of thought that they would get to Birdsong. And that's kind of why I picked what I did today. And if you missed the earlier post game today, let's take a look at the end of today's, or not post game, pregame.
Yeah.
Pregame here heard today. just a couple minutes before the first pitch. So, all right, guys, it's coming to that time where game time is 5 minutes away. I got to make my prediction for today's ball game. Giants are favored, facing a pitcher who hasn't pitched well with an ERA close to 6, I believe. Let me pull that up and look at the game here about to start. Hayden Birdsong going to the mound. Giants are favored by 62% to 37.7%. Montero, 5.62 ERAs, giving up 12 long balls in only 49 innings pitched. So we could see a long ball or two today. Hayden Birdsong going. He's also given up 6 homers in 32 and a third innings. This is a tough call. You know, my heart is telling me Giants with a 5-game win streak for the first time and going 4 over, facing the Atlanta Braves coming into town tomorrow, possibly being within a half game and a chance to overtake them tomorrow night. My head, or I should say my heart, is telling me Giants in a sweep and make it to 5 in a row. But I'm going to go to the board behind me. Got some hats over there. I'm wearing the Giants cap here. Which hat do I choose, guys? Do I go for the orange hat right here? Or am I going for the Tigers hat? Which one, guys? I think I've worn every hat this year almost. I don't think I've had an opportunity, or I haven't been given an opportunity not to wear a club's hat at least once. So, guys, hate to do that or this, but hate to sadden you guys. I may be wrong tonight. Hopefully I am. But I think the Tigers find a way to win this game tonight or this afternoon. First pitch in 2 minutes, guys. I think the Tigers pull this. Haven't proven to me that they know how to win when they need to win on a regular basis. So I'm going to pick the Tigers. We'll be back tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll see if I'm wearing this hat tonight or if I'm putting this hat back on. Thanks for joining NorCal Sports Network. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hopefully I'm wrong today, guys. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, but I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to take the Tigers today. And I think final score, I'm going to say 6-4. 6-4 Tigers. You guys have a great one. Go enjoy the ball game. See you back here at 8 o'clock tonight, NorCal Sports Network. Enjoy, everybody.
You're muted.
There you have it.
Now you see, Dan, you're hanging around me so much, you're getting really good at picking games.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I thought the Tigers were going to score in the top of the ninth, too. They had a man on third and 2 out. And I thought, oh, my gosh, if I nail this to the T, I'm going to be like, wow. But you know what? Every now and then you stumble across one, and I did today. So as Shell says, I'm I'm playing. I got my receipts, and I'm playing it up. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to my brother Bob. He's in the chat.
Brother
First,
Bob, which one?
brother Bob, anti
Oh, this
Kyle
one.
Levy.
Yeah, there he is.
Brother Bob is like me, in the minority, figuratively speaking, that goes out and calls Kyle Shanahan out for the Niners as the head coach. So shout out to him. First time I've seen him in here. Good to see you in here, brother. You're always welcome. We talk Giants, Niners, Warriors, whatever's hot. So welcome. Good to see you, man. We'll be talking soon, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, Shell, a member, which we appreciate. She does owe me an appearance, and she will be coming on the show this week. We'll have some news for you at the end of this show, guys. We have some new things coming your way to NorCal Sports Network, and that woman you see right there will become part of what's going to be happening with NorCal Sports. Just a little teaser. Some new shows are coming to NorCal Sports Network starting tomorrow. All right. And we want to welcome our newest member. Where did I see it? There it is. Michael, a new member. Let's give out a big shout out to our members. There he is, Michael. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. Sorry, guys. Slip of the finger. Didn't mean to gong you, Michael. Appreciate you joining. People may be asking, what is going on with the members? Yeah, you can join the show. It's not mandatory, but $5 a month gets you some additional content, some discount on some merchandise coming, and also gets your comments put up right at the top. And he said, wanted to help out. Michael says, wanted to help Dan out, love the show, and always watch it. $4.99 isn't much per month because he does a lot of content for us, and no one else covers Giants like him. Well, I appreciate that, Michael. A lot of work does go into this. It's a group effort. I have guys like Los and Bora, and I have guys like Cody B that joins the show from Even Year Dynasty. Ned Coletti joins the show with me, Marty Lurie, others. And then I get some great support from Ryan in the show. And a shout out to all those guys because I cannot do this on my own. But it is not just a labor of love, but it is a business too. Okay, guys? I am 63 in a week. So I actually work for myself, since I was in my 20s. And, I don't get a pension. I got to save what I have. And then you're in commission sales. Sometimes life's really good. And then other times you hit a wall and you got to lean on some of that money you've saved up for rainy days. And the economy's been a little rough the last couple years. And so I do this as well to make a little bit of money, extra money each month. And I get some money that comes in from the YouTube ads. We're working on some sponsors. Hopefully we'll get some sponsors soon. Yeah, but spending 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours a night for the past year, I mean, that does have an effect on, how much time I spend with who I really want to spend time with, and that's my wife. And so I hope you guys appreciate what I do and Michael says, thank you, Dan. Yes, I appreciate it, Michael. It is, as I said, I enjoy doing it. I wouldn't do this topic if I didn't enjoy it. I always wanted to do sports since I was a little boy, going back over 50 years ago. Like I said, I'll be 63 next year, and I'm still working and I'm grinding. And, my plan is that this will help supplement my Social Security and some of the retirement I have for income, 5-6 years down the road. But that's why we do this. And, if you look at all the YouTube content creators out there, most of them, they don't even put up comments. You watch, but they're much bigger. I understand. We're a small show right now. We got about almost 2,200 members, a little shy of 2,200. It takes a while to grow these shows, but if you do it and you grind away, it eventually starts to pay off with more and more subscribers. But some shows I watch, they won't put up any comments unless they're paid comments, because it is a business, and they'll tell you flat out it's a business, and I respect that. So I've never promoted myself as a business, but I realize as much time as I'm putting in, I've got some guys that are advisors to me that I listen to, and they've told me, hey man, you ought to treat it more like a business. You're putting in a lot of time. You should make some extra money for your efforts. And so my hope is that we'll grow, and that I can, afford to actually supplement some of the guys that help me in the show. So, because they're taking their time, as you see this man right there, right? I get into his window if I can, but can I? No, it stops me. But he takes time out of his schedule. He's self-employed like I am. And so, in fact, guys, while we're talking about self-employed, we want to get back to the show, but this man over here, Lo, he runs a business, mortgage business. And if you need any kind of financing, rates are starting to drop down. They were at 7 at one point. They're in the 5s now. I think they're below 5.5. Aren't we seeing close to 5?
With great credit comes a better rate.
Yeah. So you need to give this man a call, and he will definitely help you out. And you just give him a call at 925-250-4894. That's 925-250-4894. Give Los a call if you need any kind of mortgage financing, refinance or a first mortgage, second mortgages. Heck, he even does
private money.
Yeah.
Reverse mortgages.
Reverse mortgage. You need help with
self-employed loans. I can. If it's a loan, I can do it. Personal loans, I can do it. Yeah. And it's also advice too. Both of us in our respective fields. It's not just about a transaction or a deal. Hey, if you guys just need like advice about something that's down the road, that's what we're here for. Like if we've earned your trust on the show with our sports knowledge, wait till you see us with our professional knowledge. It's even higher. So
exactly. So let me put Los's number up there in the screen for you guys to see. There it is. Hold on here. Put it right there. NorCal Sports. Yeah, that's me. Carlos, Flex Funding, 925-250-4894. I'll leave that up for a little bit if you guys need to reach him for any kind of, oops, I hit the wrong button there. Put that back up. Any kind of mortgage for funding, or, you need some money, private loans, give Los a call. Doesn't hurt to call, okay? Doesn't mean you have to do business with them, make them earn it, like we all have to. We all have to earn your business, but give him a call, find out what he's got for you. And my number's up in the left-hand portion of the screen above my head there. If you guys need any kind of financing or life insurance, give me a call. You got my number right there in the top left-hand corner of the screen. So that's enough for business today. Hey, guys, we promoted our business. It's the same thing if we had a sponsor. We're basically sponsoring ourselves, okay, right now. So
we are the sponsors.
Yeah, we are the sponsors, okay? Yeah. And just as if I had own sponsors, which are coming, I would ask you to patronize their business. If you're so inclined and have a need, give us a shot. That's all we ask for. We're not telling you have to do business with us. Make us earn it. Okay. All right.
Hey, getting back to sports, and thank you for that, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dan, it's funny. Before I became a host with you, I used to debate Laker fans in basketball. I used to debate Dodger fans in baseball, and I used to debate Cowboys, Rams, Raider fans in football. Ever since I became a host and I'm more established on social media with a lot of different things, I find myself debating Niner fans and Giants fans. Giants fans about Farhan, Niner fans about Kyle Shanahan and some of the front office things that go on. It's quite entertaining to some degree. We're pretty consistent about what we said about Farhan and the front office, and I got into a pretty, I wouldn't call it a heated debate, but it was a good debate about, again, how the people that come out when the Giants start winning saying that Farhan's great, he's great for the organization, he's doing a lot of things. And like, I came back at him and I said, you know what? I just can't get behind Farhan, because if you get behind him, you're endorsing platoon baseball. If you get behind him, you're endorsing veterans over our homegrown youth. And those veterans could be our own veterans or veterans that you just pick off of the waiver wire or off the scrap heap and you put them in front of, our young guys, as is what's been done right now with Canna over Luciano. If you back him, you're endorsing short-term over long-term. You're endorsing Moneyball over decades of Giants baseball tradition. And I will never back that type of philosophy ever. So it's an interesting dynamic, and we will see where it goes. But I thought he had learned his lesson with Ramos and Fitzgerald playing so well. And again, he did it right away again with Canna blocking Luciano, who you mentioned earlier, should be getting those DH at bats. Encarnacion came out of nowhere. I guess he's homegrown, even though they didn't draft him, right? I mean, he was in the minor league system, albeit for a few months. But it's an interesting debate for sure. And it goes again to what we talk a lot about. Casual fans have taken over Giants fans. They're 70 to 75, and casual fans are the ones that think short term. They don't see the long road, and that's where the debate happens a lot. So.
And if you guys missed the pregame show today, the first I would say 15 minutes, a good 15 minutes, was all about Marco Luciano not playing and how exasperated I am that he's just sitting on the bench and not either playing at the major league level or developing at AAA. You don't sit a guy from August 5th to tomorrow, August 12th, and I pulled up his rankings. The guy was a top 100 prospect. He was as high as 9th by some of the publications. That is a guy that you need to be developing. So go check that out on today's pregame show. The thumbnail's out about Luciano. You'll be able to find it. I got a question here I want to pull up in the chat because this is a little bit disturbing to me, and I want to address it. Let me pull it up here. There's been several chats since then, and I got to be able to find it. Hold on here. It was first comment was from Lou. And where did Lou? Oh, yeah, here it is. Dan, with being a member, more giveaways and chances for Giants games and 49er games, well worth it. Cheaper than a latte. Absolutely. And a latte, you got to pay $4.99 or more a day. This is $4.99 a month, one payment. And I want to address the comment by deloading_1. He says, talking to Lou, what giveaways are exactly? Oh, okay, wait a minute. That's not the one. It's this one. Promoting not real giveaways or false advertising for tickets is not a very smart way to begin building the growth of a channel, Lou. Deloading, I'm not sure what you're referring to. If you're referring to the raffle that we just gave away 4 tickets to the winner, is a pretty good giveaway when you consider the seats are right next to the Giants dugout, 4 front row seats looking into the Giants dugout. In fact, it's the same seats on the third base side of the dugout versus closer to the home plate part of the dugout where Larry Bear sits. Okay. That's how valuable these seats are. And to say that was not is false advertising. Anybody had an opportunity to pay $15 to win over $650. And the $15 went to a good cause. Okay. We donated as a channel, as members. We had probably, I don't know how many people bought raffle tickets, but maybe 50 or more. There's several that bought 3 or 4. Some bought as many as 10. In fact, our winner, Kitchen Handy, he played the odds because some of the people weren't buying the tickets up. So he gobbled up the 10 that he could buy. And lo and behold, he won, just like the lotto. And everybody had a shot. But, you know, that was a wonderful gift that Lou donated his tickets. He didn't have to donate them. But Lou, seeing the need to help a child who lost his mother, put up his 4 tickets. That's putting your money where your mouth is. He didn't have to do it. He did it. And we're grateful that he did it. And guys, I don't know why someone would frown upon that and act as though that was a not a real giveaway. You know, the fact that you had to pay $15 to enter, it's, you know, you could say, well, they weren't free, but the money went to a good cause too. So I don't get it.
Great cause.
Yeah.
But that's just one person and one, you know, opinion that is wrong. So
yeah,
leave it at that.
Yeah. You know, and I want to pull something up, guys, that and let you know what we actually donated for. Okay. Let me pull that up here. I want to show you that NorCal Sports did exactly as we said we would do. And you guys see the screen there? Can you see that, Los? I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That little boy lost his mother right there in the picture. And then within a day lost his dog. But see that donation right there, guys? $1,500. That's money that came from people in this chat. Okay. I put up a little bit, but everybody contributed that wanted to get involved. And we donated every cent to that family. And if you want to read about the story, there it is. It's called Helping Elijah Navigate a New Normal. So I just want to thank everybody again that did take the time to donate. And, you know, hey, so I know you have your opinion, deloading. I don't agree with you, but just wanted to point that out. So we shall move on. Do we have any more comments from members in here? Let's see.
Yeah, well, most people.
Yeah.
You know,
Mark Gray says, deloading them. What is fake? What are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah. As a member, it says people, it just proves people truly do care. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people are behind it, understand it, and are.
Yeah. Michael, he was saying if you become a member like me, deloading, he would. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. But
oh, okay. I maybe misunderstood you, deloading. I thought you were talking to Lou about giveaways. I'm sorry if I misunderstood you. We're talking about just some reduced merchandise. We have some T-shirts and hats we're developing and stuff like that. So Steven says, did I read your comment? Let me check here, Steven. I'll look through here. There's quite a few comments in this chat. I can't see them all. I don't know, Los, maybe you can tell me what time maybe this one. Hold on. Dan, are the Braves games important for the Giants Dan, are these Braves games important for the Giants in the course of the wild card? Steven, I'm going to let you answer that question.
yeah. One of the teams.
You're a game and a half behind them, and you're down to about 42 games. What are they? 60 and 58. Is that right?
2 games over 500.
So they played. Is it 44 games? Hold on. What is their record?
60 and 58, or 61,
so
61 and 59. They're 2 games over 500.
Oh, that's right. 61 and 59. So they played game 120 today. They got 42 games left. They're critical. They're critical.
And Spencer, don't forget what I told you in the chat the other night. Make sure that you take your cell phone and your video cameras working well, and enjoy watching Luciano hit in batting practice, because you're not going to see it in the game.
Okay. Hey, I'm a man of, try to be a man of my word and have character. Sometimes I fall short, just like anybody. I'm human. Deloading, I apologize to you. I misunderstood your comment. My sincerest apologies to you for coming down on you. I got a little bit defensive there because of what I felt was a great thing, and I thought you were talking about the squares. My bad. I apologize to you, and appreciate you being here. Thank you. All right. All right. So,
the Giants really needed to sweep this series. Right now, 2 out of 3 is just not good enough for the team against teams that they should beat. So
yes,
they've won 13 out of 18. Correct? 13 and 5. Is that their run?
Giants, you know what? Why don't we take a look here, because I have not seen exactly what they have done here. So let's just pull that up.
I believe I read they had up before today's game they'd won 13 out of 17. So losing today is 13 and 5. That's a hell of a run, and they're right in the thick of things. But now they got the Braves, and the Braves are down right now. So this is an opportunity this is one of the teams that's in front of you to make a real
great point. And you know what, Los?
Yeah.
Where did they just come from? The Braves came from Colorado, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they got their bullpen wiped out. Perfect time to come to San Francisco for the game.
Sale is going tomorrow, right?
Sale and Snell.
That's a good
great matchup.
Yep.
All right. Let's take a look at where the Giants were. Can you guys see the screen there? These are all the games. With their record. Okay. So they are 61 and 58. They were 50 and 55 at one point. So that's 11 and 3 in the last 14. They were actually 49 and 55. So they have won 16 and only lost 4. Is that right? Am I doing? No, I'm doing my math wrong. They are 49 and 12 is 61. So they've won 12. Wait, let's go back even further. They were 48 and 54. 48 and 54, Los. So that would make them
13 and
5, just what you said.
13 and 5. Yeah.
Okay. So you were right. I just wanted to double check because I had not been paying attention to the numbers. They're 13-5. And if you look at 13-5, that is 722 ball. So.
And they beat teams that they're supposed to beat.
Correct.
And, we said that they have to make a run in August, and they are. The schedule's going to start to get more challenging. We've also said all year long that the Giants beat up on the lower teams pretty consistently with a few hiccups here and there, but they have struggled all year long when they face better teams. Now, the Braves are right now down, so this is a great opportunity to knock them down a little bit more. And the key is going to be getting off to good starts earlier. They continuously struggle in the first 4 or 5 innings to score runs. They continue to struggle to hit with men in scoring position. That is not something that's gone away. Lost in all this winning is they're still not really hitting. They're getting great pitching, but they're getting great pitching against lineups that don't hit very well. So as the competition increases, you're going to have to score more than 2 or 3 runs to win games. You're going to have to score 5 runs. You have to score 6 runs. So let's see if that happens. That's going to be the challenge. We're getting into the dog days of the summer and the dog days of the season. And we know the Giants bullpen is a little bit, even with all the great pitching. Remember, guys, we're very high on Birdsong on this show, but keep in mind, hitters are not the only ones that have scouting reports on them. Pitchers are as well. So as the league starts seeing Birdsong more and more again, teams are going to adjust. And he's getting hit a little bit more than he was before. That doesn't mean that his stuff has all of a sudden disappeared. It just means teams are making adjustments, which is what we always talk about on the show. Baseball is a game of adjustments, month to month, week to week, day to day, at bat by at bat. So, but all the Giants can do is they're in the thick of things. They put themselves with a nice run. Let's see if they can finish it out, because last year they didn't. Let's see if they've learned from their lesson and they can push forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tommy Huxley brings up a good point. No home runs on this homestand. 3 games, no homers. So, yeah. But, guys, this is we appreciate you guys being here at NorCal Sports Network. We try to give you the best content we can and give you our opinions based on our experience watching the game, but not just watching the game, playing the game. I know there's other choices out there. I've watched many of the Giants shows. A lot of these shows out there, sadly, they're just pontificating on the air because
good word.
They don't really understand the game itself, how it's really played. Like, I just earlier broke down the Mark Canha situation, and a lot of shows out there, they just, what is Canha doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, if you understood the game, he was taking a secondary lead and the ball came right back to him at the pitcher. He would have had to been on his secondary lead, as soon as the ball hit the bat, he would have been having to dive back into second base, which you just don't see. So it was a tough goal. The one on Chapman was a bonehead mistake on Chapman's part. And I've said this, Matt Chapman, I don't like his bat for the most part, although the last few weeks he's looking great. And today he hit the ball hard with authority and had 3 hits. But I've said all along, the guy's a solid baseball player and runs the bases as good as anybody I have seen run the bases, especially for a guy that's, he's fast, but he's not a blazing guy like, Ellie De La Cruz or Jazz Chisholm. He's not that type of speed, but he's got deceptively fast speed. But what he did today, I don't know what he was thinking, guys. I honestly just it was a brain fart of the biggest magnitude, because you can't make that mistake in the 8th inning with no outs. You know what? Live to see another at bat and help the next guy bring you home. Help him, maybe a sac fly. Maybe there's a safety squeeze. You could do all kinds of things. So,
back in the day, Dan, when you watched the other team take infield, outfield, I mean, tell me if this was not just normal.
Watch guys' arms.
You're watching guys' arms.
Yeah.
You're watching like, oh my God, like that dude in right field's arm sucks. What a noodle.
Yeah, I'm running on that.
I'm running on that. Like, and then the third baseman, who should have a cannon being a third baseman, is like, wow, he's skipping every throw to the first baseman. So you don't think, like, again, I keep saying baseball is such a mental game, but just like, you could be a guy on the bench that just doesn't care. You're in your little zone. But I mean, if you're really a student of the game and you're playing the game, you notice little things like that. And it could be at little league level. It could be in junior high. It could be in high school. It could be in college. It could be in the minor leagues, or it could be at the professional. But not to go when the ball's in front of you when you're at second. I mean, it's a bad thing to do in the second inning. It's horrible to do in the 8th inning, because you're giving up. You're taking yourself possibly out of there when the guys behind you could drive you in with a single and decide the game, a crucial game that is needed. So little things like that. It's a funny narrative to hear these guys really think they're experts because they play the game. No, but we sure know more than people that have never played the game. Like, if you're going to Spain for the first time in your life, do you want to hear from somebody that actually has gone to Spain and can tell you like what places and spots to go? Or do you want to hear from somebody that's never, ever been there? Oh, you should go here. How do you know? You can't only watch Spain on YouTube. No, I've actually gone and been there and done that. So it does have a little bit of merit. Absolutely.
Sure, it does. Sure, it does. It absolutely does. Funny, Lois, when you're talking about guys, did you watch certain guys' arms and stuff? And you learn by watching, because I used to kind of deke players out and just not show my arm in warm-ups. I would just lob them in there.
What a con artist.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that could happen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's actually genius of a coach to say, hey, when we're doing infield, guys, you guys with cannons of an arms, don't show it off.
I love to throw guys out at the plate from center field. It was fun. And you know what? They don't teach the game today, right? Let me show you something what I'm talking about here. I might have to turn my earplugs off because I'll pull the mic away. But how many times have you seen a fly ball where a guy just sitting under waiting? You want to catch the ball
with momentum going
momentum
forward.
Toward the plate or third base or wherever the ball where you're throwing. So you get back and you come up on it and catch it. So you're going forward. I don't know how many of these major league outfielders sit flat-footed and catch the ball. It drives me nuts.
A lot of them catch it with one hand.
Yes.
Too. Like we would get yelled at by our coaches if we
when
didn't
I was
catch
catching
it
a fly ball, it was with my hand just like an infielder on a double play. I mean, you know, how many guys you see catch a ball on a double play, sticking their glove out like this with their hand back here? Another thing that drives me nuts, I saw Mark Canha playing first base when he first was on this recent road trip. And I think it was a double play. Like there was a line drive to Schmidt or something at second. Tried to double him off. And Canha just sitting there with his foot on the bag, waiting for the ball to come to him. And the guy was safe by this much. Get that glove out there and stretch, dude. It's like, come on. How do these guys get to the major leagues with the lack of fundamentals? And guys, we're just telling you some things that as former ball players that a lot of things get overlooked. It drives me nuts. Why is Japan always like
not always, but why are they always one of the best teams in the World Baseball Classic?
Fundamentals.
They are the most fundamental team in that tournament. They never miss the cutoff man. They know how to run the bases. They know how to drop down a bunt. They will do every little thing that it takes to win the game. Do they have the most talent? Well,
No.
maybe. I mean, the way Ohtani
I don't think they
do
at every
in
position.
general,
But they have some stars at certain positions, but the rest of them are fundamentally
the
sound.
U.S., the Dominican, Puerto Rico, some of the Caribbean teams have more talent for sure, but they are fundamentally the soundest team in that tournament. And there's a reason they've won it, I believe, 3 times total, and the last 2 champions has been. And I know they have Ohtani and they have some other superstars. I get it, but just watch the game. I mean, they just do everything by the book.
Everything is right.
And that's what we're talking about. And when you become a professional baseball player and you're making a guaranteed amount of money, yes, I know that does fall into play. I mean, you're not exactly going to lose money if you miss a cutoff man. You're still going to get paid. If you make a base running error, you're still going to get paid. I get it. But sometimes you need to go back to your roots and remember the fundamental things. And that's what the coaches are there for. They're supposed to, there's a reason Billy Martin told Reggie Jackson, get the hell off the field in a key game against the Red Sox, because he was dogging it. It was a lazy fly ball to right field, and he lagged. He came in, it was just completely gagged that play. And that's tough love, man. And that's what we love on this channel. Like today's baseball, there's no way the manager takes out his superstar right fielder. Billy even wanted to make a point. Hey, you're not bigger than the team. You're not bigger than the game. Hustle. Took him out, and you know what happened from there. So, that's what makes the game of baseball so great. That's the thing me and Dan love so much about it. It's the little things. It's chess.
Yeah.
It's anticipating moves and things like that.
Yeah. That's why I love having Losan and Bora and Cody, all guys that played the game, understand it really well. And, part of what I do is not just sit here and give you what happened. I like to point things out from a perspective as kind of like a coach, because I want you guys, and I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence. That's not at it at all, because I believe all of you guys are good baseball people with good knowledge, and I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I'm only sharing my passion and love for the game. And when I see things that irritate me, like Mark Canha not stretching and just sitting there waiting for the ball. Have you ever seen a wide receiver not go up for a ball, and he's waiting for it to come down? And instead of going up for it at its peak, and some DB comes in and just bats it away or picks it off because he got to the highest point. Those are called 50-50 balls. Same thing in baseball, man. Canha didn't stretch out. He left his glove. If he would have stretched his legs and then reached for the ball, it's a double play. And you're out of an inning. Things have consequences when you don't play the game fundamentally right. And that's why I hope you appreciate some of the things we give you from a perspective of the game, because, when I'll give you a little story. I was always wanted to be a radio broadcaster since the time I was about 10, and playing baseball all the time. I've always seen things on TV that none of the announcers pick up. I said, why aren't you talking about that? Why? Wait. Bring that up. That was an important part. And some announcers are really, really good, and I'll say something and they'll say it right there. And you know what? A lot of them, it's like Kruk or Kite, because they played before. Or if I'm listening to the Dodgers broadcast, it's Oral Hershiser. That's why most analysts in the games are analysts, because they played the game, and so they can analyze the game. And a lot of play-by-play guys never played the game. Some have, and those are usually your better guys, like Dwayne Kuiper. And that's why I get on Dave Fleming when he starts whining about strikes. You
Oh
don't
my
hear
God.
Kuiper whining about
Thank you.
miscalled strikes because it's part of the game. And you just like, it's so refreshing to hear a guy call a game for what the game is. And you know what? If that's why what we do here is we're not a homer network. We're not one that, I would have loved to sit here and did today's pregame show, had my Giants jersey, my Joe Panic jersey, had my Giants hat on. I would have loved to have left that hat on for you guys. Said, today's game, I'm predicting the Giants win and sweep. And I could have said that and went with my heart, but again, I'm wrong a lot. So don't take me. I'm not, I'm not Jesus where I 100% got everything right and I'm perfect. Far from it. But
And a lot of this conversation is for, the people in the chat that they're really true hardcore baseball fans, not just Giants fans, but they love the game. I mean, I've heard it many, 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 many times in here. Like, oh, I'm not really into football that much. I'm not into basketball that much. That's fine. If you're into baseball, then you got to be into the game and not just into the Giants. Going to your point earlier, Dan, about
yes, MF. Yes, I will go. Sorry.
Going to your point earlier about the outfielder, that if there's a play at the plate and he needs to get the strongest throw possible, you see the ball in the air, you anticipate where it's going to land, you back up a few steps to be able to get momentum when you're catching it so you can come forward and get a little extra on that throw. If a guy does not do that and he catches the ball way up here and then he has to step into his throw and the guy is safe at the plate, I guarantee you 90% of the media will miss that, not catch it, and not ask about it in the post game media.
Right, the media.
They will not catch that. They will not catch that, and they will not, put that player on blast or ask him a tough question like, you knew this was a play that was going to decide the game. Was there any reason why you didn't get momentum going forward? That player would be like, oh shit, like this dude knows the game. But most of them will not ask those tough questions. I don't know if all of you watched post-game conferences. I always watch everyone. Warriors, Giants, Niners. Some of the questions that some of these media people ask, I mean, it's like, oh my God. They'll ask all the questions in the world about all the drama that's going on, like the Niners with Ayuk, when's he going to be signed? Blah, 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 blah. It's always about the drama. And it's not about the true essence of the game. And hey, they have their media credentials somehow, some way. But yeah, it's something that's definitely lacking.
Yeah, it's something that you want to teach the game. I wish I had the time. I would volunteer and go teach little leaguers. I really would. And I would start with those 9-year-olds and I would, draft them, develop them, get them learning the fundamentals of the game and just teaching them. It would be really fun. I would love it. I hope my grandsons will play ball. And I would love to, if I'm able, they're only 4 and a little over 1. So 2 of my grandsons, I've got a couple other grandsons that are a little older, but they're not playing baseball. So
MF, we have no idea why Luciano isn't playing. None at all. That's a question for Mr. Farhan and Mr. Melvin. I would love, since Farhan doesn't answer questions at post-game conferences every night like Melvin does. Again, here we go again. Why isn't anybody in the media asking Bob Melvin? You know what? A couple of weeks ago when you traded Soler, your president of baseball operations said very clearly, we're doing this so we can get Marco Luciano some at-bats. He's going to be our DH. He deserves it. And then shortly thereafter, you trade for another veteran who's not having a great year, and he's taking all those DH at-bats. Has he come through a few times? Yeah, of course. He's going to come through. He's not a bad player. But again, it's stunting that development again. And you lied again. You don't think Luciano heard that post-game conference? Oh, I'm going to get – and was told behind scenes in the dugout, okay, Marco, this is your chance. We got rid of Soler. Let's see what you can do. He does pretty well, and then not even 7-10 days later, hey, dude, you're on the bench again. I mean, just the emotional upswings that you're treating these players, these young guys, is just mind-boggling. So we don't know MF why he's not playing. He should be down in sack, at least getting at bats all the time. But if I was Marco Luciano, I would not want to be in this organization.
Yeah, Marco Tanner, I almost said Marcus Tanner, just put great point, Los. Giants beat writers do not ask questions of accountability.
None of the media do. The media in the Bay Area is they're scared shitless of Shanahan. Grant Cohn's the only one that asks him tough questions. They're frightened to death of Shanahan. Melvin, he doesn't get any tough questions. It's funny. The Warrior beat writers are actually a little bit tough. Am I right, Dan? The Warrior beat writers are they ask Kerr some tough questions sometimes.
They're a little bit,
tougher than the Giants and the Warriors.
And I don't know if it's because Steve Kerr's a little bit more, what would you say, humble in taking. He'll take the blame himself and say,
they see that as a weakness to be able to kind of maybe ask the tough questions, whereas Shanahan comes off as very bully-like and combative, so they back away. Melvin, his personalities.
I think it's because
Melvin could be a little bit of a rat ass too.
Yeah,
I've seen him snap a few times.
Yeah, he can snap, and Shanahan, of course, we know can. And I think Steve Kerr's just a little bit more seasoned. He's older. Melvin's getting up there too, but I think Steve Kerr just has a lot of humility. He knows who he is. He knows he's a great coach. He's won at every stinking level. I mean, didn't Arizona win a championship? A national championship while he was there?
They got to the Final Four, but
I know they got to the Final Four. Okay, I'm not sure if he was able to get it done, and then goes to the Bulls, wins a few there, goes to San Antonio, wins there, wins fourth and then now he's won his second gold medal, first as a head coach. Well, they don't actually get medals, unfortunately, the coaches, which I think sucks. I mean, how devaluing is that?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
They should get one too. And Mitchell and Ness, I completely agree. Like I love Kerr's accountability. If there's any coach that should be a little arrogant because he has 4 championships.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be Steve Kerr. If there's any coach that says, basically in so many words, F
you don't know what you're
talking about, it would be Steve Kerr. It would not be Kyle Shanahan. For sure, but that's a debate for another day.
Steve Kerr's a very unique human being, and I think it's shaped by
I love Kerr.
What he's been through in life, losing his dad, who was the president of Beirut University or whatever. I think it was in Beirut, whatever, American University or whatever it was called. His dad was basically assassinated, and he was in college, I believe, early college when that happened. I mean, that's tragic to go through. And, you see his mentor, Greg Popovich, who's kind of a grouchy old dude. Man, I love man, but Pop is great. He gives some of the greatest answers. But
some of the funniest things, if you guys want to laugh, really laugh, go to YouTube and watch some of these post-game press conferences of Mike Ditka, of Denny Green.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Yeah, Greg Popovich, of who was the guy for the Colts playoffs?
Jim Mora Jr.
Jim Mora, Bill Parcells. Singletary had a couple meltdowns that were classic.
How about the one when he went off on Vernon Davis? I want winners.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh man,
loved it. Discipline. Loved it. But if you had a credential, man, you had a media credential, you could be in the clubhouse after every Giants game. Right now, what question or questions come to mind for Melvin off the top of your head? Would it be a baseball related question about the team?
Here's one. Today you had men on first and second. You're down by 2. Patrick Bailey came up to the plate who's in a 1 for 40 slump, why did you not either consider pinch hitting for him against the lefty? You have Marco Luciano on the bench, and he's up here for his hitting. Or if you didn't feel like using Luciano at that point, why did you not consider having Bailey sacrifice the runners into scoring position? I mean, and what happened to Bailey? He hit into a double play from the right side. I do not have the ability for some reason, Los, to put up my Twitter account right now on my computer, but I'm going to show you what I put out today. And you take a look at this. And let me pull it up here. Come on, get out of there. I'll show you what I tweeted out today. It is Giants trailing 5-3 with runners on first and second, with the slumping Patrick Bailey coming up from his weaker side, right-handed. It was the perfect time for a sac bunt or to pinch hit Marco Luciano for him. The worst thing that could happen happened with a very weak swing double play. What purpose does Luciano play having him sit on the bench? And let me show you. Here it is.
Is that the easiest double play ever, man?
Oh,
like
it was
not
Los,
even an
if
effort
you
to
analyze
run
the swing, it was this like almost an uppercut, and he hit it on the ground.
Yeah, he needs a couple days off. He needs to rest up. He's dragging big time. But let me pretend to be Bob Melvin.
Yeah,
and answer your question. Well, Dan, that's an interesting perspective. But you see, I follow your channel, and I notice a lot of people in your chat, and I agree with them, say that young players don't matter down the stretch. You have to go with veterans. So I don't think I could realistically put Marco Luciano in that position late in a game, because he is a very young player. He's a rookie. And according to many people in your chat, young people means that you're giving up. And I never want to give the impression that I'm giving up. We're in a pennant race. So I'm going to go with my young veterans, my middle-aged veterans, and my older than shit veterans every single time over a young player, no matter how talented he is. Thank you for your question, Dan. I appreciate it. Next question, please. Ooh.
Oh man.
He would hit. That's the company line. That's the company line.
You know, I just man, it would.
And we like
Roger Craig.
And we like Bailey. We're not ripping on him, but he is slumping right now.
Yeah. What would Roger Craig have done in that situation? Or even Bruce Bochy? You either bunt the slumping guy over, help,
How many outs were there? Was there none
0.
or 1 out?
0.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Duh. Okay, so he would have bunt him over. It would have been second and third.
1 out.
And 1 out. And then, let me get close to my camera here.
Here, I'll put you up here right there. There we go.
And then he would suicide squeeze the game-winning run home. He would bunt twice because Roger Craig did what the other team.
In this situation, they were down 2 though at this point. But
scratch that then. Scratch that.
But you know what? 5-4, bottom of the 8th.
Yeah.
You would have, with the 1 out, if Chapman would have stayed at third, and they threw him out at first, would have thrown out Bailey. Now you have the suicide squeeze in play.
Suicide squeeze is one of the most exciting plays in baseball. I can't remember the last time I saw a suicide squeeze in baseball, much less the Giants. Do you know how like the third baseman is always playing back? If you get any kind of a decent bunt down and the guy at third base times it right, that run is coming home. The Giants have left so many guys at third base in less than 2 outs this year. It's ridiculous because they strike out or pop up a lot. Again, going back to our comments about 30 minutes ago about Japan, I guarantee you everybody on the Japanese team can bunt and get a bunt down, whether it's high, low, outside, inside. I guarantee you, conversely, on this Giants team, I'd say maybe a third of the team can bunt, and the other 2/3, not really. That the effort would be pathetic. That's probably why they don't do it, but they don't teach that. But maybe they should. It's a great play. It's something that the defense is not looking for, and you're trying to win the game. You're trying to win the game late. So why it's not done more often, I have no idea. But again, we talk all the time about how the game has changed, how starters don't go past 6 innings anymore, how relief pitchers are getting gassed and killed by July, and how suicide squeezes are about as relevant as Tyrannosaurus Rexes are on planet Earth.
Exactly. I was just looking to pull one up, but that
was a crazy ass analogy right there.
They're all on YouTube. There's so many suicide squeeze plays. I don't know if I can play them on YouTube. I don't know. I was looking for one. Here's one on. Oh, that's 6. That's on Instagram. I need to find one that's not on YouTube that I can just play, Los, because it is so fun. Oh, here's one. Let me see.
Do you remember the original Major League movie, the first?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the play that won the game against the Yankees? The guy was at second, and he starts stealing the base. And the catcher drops a bunt down the third baseline, and the guy keeps going around third. He never stops, and then the throw goes to first. He beats it out, and then he beats the throw home. Man, that is just as exciting as a home run. Let me tell you, when speed and outsmarting your opponent, just outsmarting him and stealing that run to win a game. Man, I love it. That's coaching. That's the difference between coaching, getting your players into a winning position, and not. So
yes,
that'd be one of my questions. Bob is the suicide squeeze still in play? Have you ever considered it with as difficult a time as your team has in getting runs from third? I'd love to hear that answer. I wonder if he'd be defensive or he'd say, well, our president of baseball operations doesn't believe in that play. The computer does not compute. Does not compute. I don't know, man. It's a great play. I don't know why it's done. The double steal, the hit and run, just.
Oh yeah, I don't understand why teams don't implore it. Just have it more. It just teams. The biggest thing I think that drives me nuts, Los, is you get a guy like Tyler Fitzgerald on base with 2 outs, and you're down a run, and he doesn't attempt to steal. Yeah. And it just seems to be, yes, everybody's expecting you to steal, but you know what? We all knew Ricky Henderson was going. We knew Lou Brock was going. We knew, when guys are going, and Roger Craig used to throw pitch out after pitch out. And it's just, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but my goodness, it's like to wait on the big hit. If the difference is when you got a guy on first base with 2 out, generally speaking, you either need an extra base hit or it's going to take 2 hits to get him home. And why not steal and you get that 1 hit and you're in, you're tied up the game. It's just like, I don't get it.
They're waiting for the 3-run homer, the Earl Weaver way of scoring runs far too often. They're relying too much on the long ball to score. I would be interested to see where scoring is in baseball right now. because there's probably, more home runs in general, even though there's not guys, hitting 60, 7 anymore. But there's maybe more because people are swinging for the fences. We talk about this all the time, but they're not situational hitting as well. I would guarantee you the Giants are not the only team that struggles to hit with runners in scoring position. We sound like we're just down on them because this is the team we see every single day. But I guarantee you that other than maybe a handful of teams, most teams struggle with this because baseball in general, guys are swinging for the fences. That's what's going to get them paid. That's what's going to get them the big contracts. Nobody's going to go in negotiations and say, oh, we say that you made, we had 13 sacrifice flies and you hope your team win. They don't care about that. They want to know if you hit the ball over the fence. And that's the reality of today's game. It's all about this.
I was thinking there's got to be a rule, Los, and there is. I was thinking, man, if you got to go up there and bunt, just bring up like a telephone pole. But is Rule 110A states the bat shall be smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. So there you go, guys.
Dan, what do you think of Senior's comment? If you could highlight that.
Let me pull that up. But wouldn't it be funny if you went up there? Remember Eddie? Who was that guy's name? The little Bill Veeck sent the midget up there to bat with the bases loaded. Did you ever?
5'1", and he walked because they.
Yeah, it's like Eddie. What was his name? Eddie Plank or Eddie
Patek or no?
That's Freddie Patek. He was 5'4" with the Royals, shortstop. But let me find Senior's comment in here. Let's scroll up here. Bunting is a skill. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, bunting is a skill. I can't imagine trying to bunt a 95-mile-an-hour cutter, not an excuse. And these guys are pros, but man, yeah, it would be tough to bunt. I have you ever gone into a cage and tried to bunt a 90-mile-an-hour just in the cage?
It's an interesting point. All I'll say to that is that sometimes we get caught up in we know everybody throws hard now. There's not a lot of finesse pitchers, but there was guys that threw hard in the last 20 or 30 years. Very hard. And people were able to bunt on them. I'm not saying it's easy. Lord knows it's not easy. But if you practice enough at it, it's hard to hit a baseball at 98 miles an hour. But bunting, I don't know. Like the bunt doesn't have to be perfect. If you know the fundamentals of bunting, you're supposed to drag your hand and you're supposed to not stab at the ball. You're supposed to pull the bat back and let the ball hit the bat. And if it goes down the first base line to the pitcher or down the third base line, again, it does not have to be perfect. If we're talking suicide squeeze, it just needs to be in fair play, in fair ground. You're going to get the run. You're going to get the run to score. If that guy takes off from third and it's timed perfectly, it does not have to be a perfect bunt. Remember, we're not talking about a sacrifice bunt. We're talking about a squeeze. And if that guy at third base has any speed at all he needs to do is get it in fair territory. And it's a run. It's a run. So I kind of agree with Senior that it's not easy to do, but it's not impossible either. What's hard to do right now is hitting a sacrifice fly. That seems to be hard to do when it comes to the Giants. So when all else fails, try something different.
Did anybody in the chat get Eddie Goodell? Look at this. Look at this dude batting. Eddie Goodell at the plate. Try throwing. The catcher on his knees is taller.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That story and that guy reminds me of the Bad News Bears, the original. Wasn't there a real small kid that came to the plate and the guy couldn't? I know he's short, Billy, but just get it over the plate, and he walked him because he's too short. He has a tiny strike zone. Yeah, that's genius. That should be done more often. They should get players that are 4'11" or 5 feet. God, you'd have to throw it. Technically speaking, the strike zone is
button in the back. I hit the back button. It's knocking me out of the out of the link here. Okay.
Technically speaking, if we take away the automated electronic strike zone box, isn't it your understanding, Dan, that the strike zone in general, depending on how tall or how short the batter is the knees to the bottom of the elbows and then as wide as the plate is? Is that generally strike zone?
I always, when I was playing, to me, it was always the knees to the letters. The
letter strike is hardly called nowadays.
Yeah, it really is.
Feel.
It's we saw the pitch that C.J. Abrams knocked out of the park against the Giants last week. That was over his head.
That was ridiculous.
That was pretty wild. But but now it's more like the knees almost to just above the belt, they call it. It seems like the strike zone. Let me get it. Eddie Goodell, 60 pounds, 3'7" tall, became the shortest player in the history. Could you imagine if they just threw it inside, man? The guy would have run and never come back. I mean, what would you? Was it that the bases were loaded in that situation, though? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know the story, but yeah, I just know they couldn't throw a strike to him. 3'7"? Shit, I didn't know he was that small.
Let's see what can we let's see if we can read this here. The shortest at bat in baseball history.
Hey, that's a great point, Justin. Jose Altuve is pretty damn short. There's a reason why he's a good hitter. He has a smaller strike zone. They have to come in that zone, and he's a damn good hitter. But that's interesting.
Yeah, but
and conversely, maybe that's why there's not a lot of good tall. Think about how many tall, and when I mean tall, like 6'5", 6'6" or more. How many, honestly, the ones that come to mind are Dave Winfield.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge. I think Dave Parker was pretty big, pretty tall.
6'5", Dave Parker.
Yeah. But not
Dave Kingman was 6'7", but struck out a lot. But he hit
a lot of power.
Most monstrous. Remember the one he hit on Waveland Avenue in Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think that thing went 500 feet. I really do.
If you're an umpire and you have to again go from the knees to the bottom of the elbows, then if you're 6'6", it stands to reason you have a bigger strike zone and more opportunities for the pitchers to get you out than a Jose Altuve who's like 5'6". Is that fair? Because there's a bigger strike zone. So maybe that's why really tall players, Aaron Judge is an exception, as are a few others. But tall players, not really. They are not a lot of in the history of baseball. We just mentioned 4. If anybody else can think of anybody else that's 6'6", 6'7", I can't think of one. And I got a good memory about the game of baseball. There were tall hitters. That were good hitters, not power hitters, that were good, 280, 300 plus hitters. There's not many of them. So it doesn't matter. Stanton is 6'6", but is he considered a good hitter? He's a power guy. I wouldn't call him a good hitter.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing all right, but hit one out today.
How tall is Ohtani?
Ohtani, I don't know. Is he 6'4"? Shohei. Hey,
He looks pretty
How tall is Shohei Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani is 6 feet 4 inches.
Yep.
Okay. So he's right on that cusp.
Yeah. This one I want you guys to take a look at. Hold on here. All right. We are at
Willie McCovey was pretty tall.
Where are we at in the show? 1 minute, 25 seconds. We might have to cut this out. I don't know. Let me play this. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is remarkable. Watch where this ball goes. Hold on. Where's my play button? Here we go.
Hey, kiss him goodbye. It is gone. Oh, I thought he hit the other one hard. That one's in Milwaukee. It hit the front porch of the third house across Waveland Avenue. Man, oh.
I am going to challenge that. I am going to challenge that homer by Dave Kingman, by Glen Allen Hill's homer. If you can find Glen Allen Hill's homer, let the chat. God, there's no way to have the poll up, huh? To vote.
I gotta figure that part out. So
Kingman's was a shot. It definitely went on a Waveland Avenue. But watch Glen Allen Hill's homer. I mean, he got every bit. And Glen Allen Hill had a little bit more, strength to him than Kingman may have been just naturally strong, but Glen Allen Hill was put together. And he got
that was also at Wrigley, right? Yeah.
And was he a Giant?
He did play for the Giants. He did it as a Cub.
But that homer that I talk about that was a bomb, that was with the Giants, I believe.
No, it was with the Cubs.
Oh, he was a Cub. Okay.
Yeah.
That thing. Oh, Derek Lee, good one. Mark Graves. Derek Lee was a good hitter. Good one. Richie Sexton was pretty good too. Damn, he was 6'7". Wow. Man, I just think you're at a disadvantage when you're that tall. It's a big strike zone. Tall guys usually have long arms, and I just feel like you can get them inside. But, man, that's what makes Judge so incredible. Like, I see pitchers trying to throw 95, 96 on his hands, and he just turns on it. Incredible.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay, guys, which one is longer? The one that he just showed with Kingman or this monstrosity? When I saw this.
Blue shoes better.
Like that. I like the blue shoes better. Way out of here. Oh, my gosh. He hit it on the roof.
That went on the roof of the building.
Never seen that.
Yeah, but the building wasn't there
I
when
know.
Kingman hit it, and it went onto the steps behind it.
Kingman's was the left center. You didn't even see the ball leave Glen Allen Hill's bat. He hit it that hard.
I know.
I don't know. It's close.
I don't know, man. Kingman's went off the steps of the house behind.
It's close. Hey, Darryl Strawberry hit some monster ones too. Hey, still to this day, Willie Stargell hit I always say this, Willie Stargell hit the farthest ball I've ever seen a candlestick. He hit it to right center in the upper deck. Right center. That's a poke. That's the farthest ball I've ever seen live.
I've got to say, the home runs, this may be, I'm a right-handed hitter, but a left-handed swing looks sweeter than a right-handed guy's swing.
It does. It does, no doubt.
And
did you ever switch it at all?
No, I tried.
I tried too.
I tried in wiffle ball, just playing wiffle ball, and I couldn't even do it. I don't know why.
If we ever go to the batting cages now, as long as it's like 50 miles an hour, I could be left.
Put it on the senior spell. The seniors, not the senior in our chat, but the senior citizens speed for me.
60 or 70 might be tough left-handed, but yeah, 50 I can still do it.
I can hit the ball left-handed. I can make contact, but it's not even leaving the infield. And it's going to be a weak grounder. I don't know why. I'm really was pretty good with my left hand in basketball, layups and, dribbling, but I could not swing a bat left-handed. It was just pathetic. So I wasn't much better from the right side either, to be honest, Lowe's. I'm being truthful. I was not I was a singles, doubles hitter. I did not have any power.
Thanks, Aaron.
But I could. What did Aaron say? Let me see.
In Chicago, we went to a Chicago museum, and they had a virtual machine or a video or projection, and it actually pitched. And I think Aaron got me by a couple homers. I think I hit like 11. And you had like 20 swings or something. It was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Hey, Mark Graves, our chat mod, one of our mods and members. I think he's a member. I'm not sure. I got to look at the member list.
He should be.
But I loved those plastic helmets, those adjustable ones with the little thing inside and you can move it. We used to play, we had collected, just like those hats behind me, guys. I had probably close to 10 different teams' hats or helmets. Back when I was playing, it was obviously the Giants and had the A's, but had teams like the Expos and the Phillies and the Yankees. And I used to just go to at Candlestick, when you walk out there and they'd sell, remember the souvenir stands at Candlestick?
Yeah.
And they just have those, they had all the teams' helmets. Then they had those little tiny bats and they just had, I loved to buy the helmets. And
here's a great trivia question, and don't Google it either. You get no love and no respect if you have to Google it. If anybody knows this off the top of their head, including you, Dan, much respect. What year did Major League Baseball make you wear batting helmets as opposed to just a cap? What year?
You want me to guess, or is this for the chat?
You too. I'm going to guess that it was late 50s.
I'm going to guess 68 with the pitching mound change. Just a guess.
So you had guys
67.
You actually went to the okay, think about this, guys. You had to go to the plate against guys like Gibson, who like
Mays always wore a hat.
And you had no batting helmet?
Nuts. Can you imagine?
Oh,
they're lucky nobody got killed.
For real.
Could you imagine? Hey, come on, Gibby. I'm ready. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Willie Mays. Willie was one of the only ones I remember doing it. He was one of the last to get rid of the helmet.
I'm really curious. Somebody, we're getting a few guesses, 1970s, 64. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think it was maybe somebody looked that up.
I'll Google
very
it right
curious.
now. I will Google it.
Mid to late 60s. But my God, I mean, I know, again, everybody thinks that everybody throws hard nowadays, but there were some really hard throwers. I remember they didn't have a speed gun at one point. Nobody threw harder than Nolan Ryan. And Nolan Ryan, if you hit a homer off him, he was coming inside. I mean, I'm talking early when he was pitching with the Angels and he was pitching with the Mets.
Hey, we got an answer here.
What year?
I should have stuck with my first answer.
Wow. 71. Wow. They went through the 50s and 60s with all these guys that like to throw hard and inside. And keep in mind, guys, these guys threw up and in. The whole code of, okay, if you have to hit somebody on purpose, you hit them in the butt or the back.
Yeah.
Now, guys like Gibson and other guys, if you disrespected them, if you hit a tape measure, homer, or whatever off them, they were not coming inside at your hips. They were coming up and in. And you had no batting helmet? Wow. Oh, my God. That is crazy. I didn't expect that. 71? Damn.
I almost said 71 because I remember Willie, but I thought, because it was funny because I didn't start watching baseball till 68, I would say, when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
That I remember. I may have had it on earlier, but 7 years old was when I really was actually already playing baseball. I was playing ball probably at 4 or 5 though, with my older brothers in the backyard. But I just remember going to games at 7. It's funny, all my life I've had nearsighted, so meaning I can't see very far away.
Yeah.
And we used to go to Candlestick, and I would say, why? I could hardly see the players in the outfield. And I was like, 9, 10 years old. I didn't get glasses until I was 13, but I needed them when I was about 10. And it's amazing that I was able to play ball with, I kind of noticed it. I used to say it to my mom all the time, but I don't know why. Back then, we didn't have like, oh, just go get an eye exam. It was just, well, I don't know. It was just different back then. Life was, you just sucked it up and you just went. But it wasn't until like 7th grade that I could not see the chalkboard, and it started affecting my studies that my mom said, it wasn't like, hey, I don't see the, and I didn't know that playing ball, I didn't see the ball. I saw it, but I could have seen it better.
Yeah.
Obviously. But,
so officially, there's no record of anybody dying by a ball to the head without a batting helmet. But I guarantee you, if we probably, one of us or a bunch of us did some more digging, I would imagine there were some guys that were hit. I imagine that they had concussions. I would imagine that they were out for weeks, if not months. So maybe nobody died, but as much as guys threw up and in those days, I know some guys got hit in the head with no batting helmets. Man, and for you to get that and then actually go back and stand in the box.
Yeah.
Wow. That's that's wild. That's wild.
Wow. I'm just I'm looking in here to see if there's anybody that got hit in the head without. I know Tony Canigliaro. Are you familiar with that story?
Yeah.
Got hit in the eye and never was the same again.
Right. That's right.
Casey Schmidt, we've had Casey Schmidt on here, and he's been hit pretty hard in the head or in the face.
Yeah.
In the face. And he was right here on NorCal Sports Network sharing the story, how it really affected him. It really took him a while to get back in that box. I mean, I don't know.
Think about the Negro Leagues too. Think about Satchel Paige coming up and in on you if he was pissed off.
Yeah.
Satchel in his prime, he threw high 90s. And I could see him talking to the guy at the plate saying, hey, this next one's coming at your head. What are you going to do about it? That was a whole different.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but.
The last player to bat without a helmet was Bob Montgomery, September 9th, 1979. He was grandfathered. He was one of those players that was grandfathered that didn't have kind of amazing back then, huh? How they let that in. I mean, think about baseball for like Wednesday night. The seats that the winner of our raffle is going to sit right there where that red arrow is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just above the dugout, but it's close. The 4 seats, that's seat 8 where the arrow is. They're going to be sitting in 1, 2, 3, and 4 right next to the Giants dugout. Imagine sitting there. He's taking his 3-year-old son and his wife. Imagine sitting there back in the day with no net. I would be freaking out having my son there. Now, it's one of the best things baseball has done.
Yeah.
Was put that net all the way around. I saw a kid in Boston get hit. You remember Jim Rice going into the stands and picking the kid up?
Yeah.
And that is an amazing story. The guy is an adult now, and he talks about it. And I have nothing but respect for Jim Rice. He acted on impulse and jumped into the stands and may have saved that little boy's life. Baseball doing the net. I mean, you and I were at a game recently in Arizona this year, and we were able to talk and not have to watch every pitch. Imagine sitting close to the field and, you could not take your eye off of a pitch if you were on the side of the field or right behind the plate or wherever without the net because you could get killed or pretty hurt. Senior says he was just at Fenway, doesn't have the net all the way down the line. Interesting.
That's crazy. God, wow. I think he's right. I was at Fenway 5 years ago. I don't remember. But yeah, it's some scary stuff, man. Like for a long time, those lines. And if you don't bring a glove, and there's some women and kids in those first rows down the line, and that ball's coming at you 90 to 100 miles an hour. That is dangerous. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
the story of Jim Rice doing that. In fact, we just passed the 42-year anniversary a couple days ago, and let me see if I could play this, guys. Let's Jim Rice reunites. Hold on here. Why are we not playing? I don't know why it's not playing.
Have you ever been hit by a pitch up by the head area?
No, not up by the head, but plenty of times in the torso and the arm. I mean, in the side. Most of the ones I remember getting hit by were in the side.
I didn't get hit, but junior year in high school, and I was facing a guy that threw pretty hard at the time. I ducked and but it was headed toward my head. And let me tell you, I was in no rush to get back in that batter's box again. That is a scary proposition, man, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a whole different thing when it's at your ankles, at your legs, at your butt. When it's coming at your head, man, you see your life flash before your eyes.
Right.
You really do.
Right.
So, yeah, that just blows me away. I had no idea it was 1971 that they started wearing helmets. That is nuts that these guys would go up there. God, you just would think that they would have came up with helmets a lot earlier than that.
Right.
Thank God nobody died. Very well could have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty amazing when you consider what happened.
Hey, real quick, Dan, let me pivot and talk about a different topic with you. Again, I didn't watch much sports.
Oh, is this playing, by the way? Is this playing?
It's playing, but no noise, no sound.
Oh, okay. I was trying to find the sound. I was going to actually pull that up. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. This was pretty. Oh, here. Oh, yeah. This was it. This was a wild story. Oh, it's not letting me. Hold on. This might do it.
It's not letting you.
Do you have?
His answer was pulling
A picture that touched many hearts, but for some still brings vivid, frightening memories.
I prefer not to look at that picture. It is hard.
That's because the little boy cradled in Red Sox player Jim Rice's arms is Tom Keene's son, critically injured by a speeding baseball. 27 years ago, Keene and his two oldest boys were sitting just 2 rows up from the dugout at Fenway.
In the 4th inning, Dave Stapleton was up at bat, and he hit a line drive foul ball that was just a rocket. You couldn't even see it.
Tom heard a crack. He thought the ball hit the dugout. Then he heard his 4-year-old son screaming.
His head was slumped over, and the blood was bleeding out of the left side of his head. And at that moment, I realized it had not hit the side of the dugout. It had actually struck him in the head.
Tom says in an instant, Jim Rice reached into their row, scooped up Jonathan, and started running down the steps of the dugout. Jonathan got medical care within seconds. Now 31 and living in North Carolina, Jonathan doesn't remember that day, but has nothing but praise for Rice.
Yeah, he definitely. I think he saved my life. His reaction and ability to stay cool in that situation when really nobody else did anything is remarkable.
A year later, Jonathan was invited back to Fenway, threw out the first pitch, and was given a thorough once-over by Jim Rice. The only evidence of the accident, a small scar not even noticeable in pictures. And while Jonathan's lifelong hero is now being recognized for his success on the field, the Keene family says he has always been in their Hall of Fame. Heather Hamill, WMUR, News 9.
Wow.
That is interesting. That happened at Fenway. And Senior says that he saw an older guy get drilled in the head at Fenway. And then Senior said he was at Fenway recently, and they still don't have the net up. I thought
he may have seen that just recently when he was there a week or two ago. I don't know. Gosh, hearing that story, I got to tell you, man, I'm a little emotional. I don't know why I get that way, but I guess it's the human spirit. Jim Rice.
Yeah.
To me, he's a hero, and I would always hold him in high regard just for that act. He sees a boy in need. He didn't look and say, oh, he's a white kid, he's a black kid, or whatever. It's like, boom.
He's a human being.
He's a human being. And he jumped in, and you know what? He took him to the clubhouse to the doctor he knew was there, and got medical need immediately. And, I just love that. I love sports because we don't see the racial division in sports that we do in American politics. And it just disgusts me that politicians from whatever party you're in want to,
play the race card.
Play the dang race card. Man,
Yep.
America used to be so. I've lived longer than a lot of people in this chat, obviously. There's a few people that are older than me, but I've seen, America when it was growing up in the 70s, for me, the most part, 80s. I don't recall a lot of racial tensions in my life. And I don't think we have as much racial issues today that is created for political gain. And I hate it.
Right.
It just pisses me off, to be honest with you.
Well, it's crazy because this story is Fenway, and they're still not doing anything about it. Like
down the lines, he said.
We all know that this is a country that's very easily to get into litigation. So if somebody gets hit at Fenway, you would have thought that they would learn their lesson and have it up, but they're not. If somebody gets hit, there's going to be a lawsuit on their hands, and that'll be a precedent to have a fan or a family of a fan, heaven forbid they pass away, but if they're even injured, there's going to be a lawsuit there. So Boston.
Yeah, we're all used to watching the game with the net.
What are you doing?
It doesn't impede that much at all that I notice.
Not at all.
I don't think it does. Hey, I was at the game in spring training in Surprise. The Giants were playing the Texas Rangers. Was it Texas or Kansas City? I think it was Texas. Anyway, it was at Surprise. You and I met out there at Surprise this past year. The coach for the Giants, they used to sit in chairs watching the batters, or the pitchers. I think they were more or less watching the batters, but the coach got drilled he had no time to move, no time. I was like literally right by it. I ran down behind the where it happened, real close front row. I was maybe 15, 18 rows up. I ran down, and he was bloodied, and they had to rush him to the ambulance out in left field where the ambulance was, and then they airlifted him, and he had to have emergency surgery. But now you go to a spring training game and the coaches sitting out there, they got this, the net like they do with the pitching coaches, they're sitting behind a net, a screen, basically a temporary screen. My goodness. And Los, do you think it would be weird, and we'll close, we're going to get out of here, but do you think it would be weird for on deck guys, hitters, they're standing in the on deck circle, defensive. Let's say you're on the first base dugout and you're right-handed. Do you think it would be better that baseball shift that guy to go stand over on the third base, on the opposing on deck circle? Is that kind of weird, or just take your chances and stand there? And I mean, you're like 20 feet away.
They're not going to do anything until somebody gets hurt in the on deck. Until then, they're going to just leave them there. There's no sport that's more traditional than baseball. Sometimes stubbornly to a fault. They will not. Now, they have made some changes, obviously, the pitch clock and the guy, it's the ghost runner at second base to start the 10th inning. So they have made some changes. But as far as like safety, the net is up in practically every ballpark except Fenway. I don't know what they're doing there. But that's a good point. When you're on deck, you're pretty damn close. And sometimes your back is to the plate because you're swinging that donut. And again, for everybody that knows the game, we're not talking about like old
a glazed donut. Yeah, glazed or old-fashioned donut?
Boston cream. It's a
Boston cream. Okay.
Yeah. For those that know the game, know that a donut on a bat is a weight. So sometimes you're just into your zone trying to warm up and your back is to the plate. And, if you don't look, you're going to get hit by a foul ball. And who knows if they're wearing their batting helmet in the on-deck circle. They may not. Oh, yeah. They may not put it on until they're at the plate. That's a great point. But I've seen some people get close to getting hit, but until somebody does and gets hurt, they're not going to change it. Because it's
crazy. It's just swinging a little late, and hitting a line drive that goes right into some dude's nuts or in the head, and it's lights out. The party's over. You know what I noticed, and everybody in the chat, tell me if I'm tripping or something, but are there more foul balls the last few years in baseball than ever before? I mean, I see guys like foul off pitch after pitch after pitch. And these are why these pitch counts are going up, and maybe one of the reasons why pitchers can't go past 6 innings. But there's guys that foul off a lot of pitches. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping or not, but it just seems like there's a lot more long at bats than ever before. Like usually it was like 1, 2, 3 guys were getting themselves out or they'd get a hit. Nowadays it's like it goes to 3-2, and then there's a foul ball, and then another foul ball, and then another foul ball. So yeah. The more foul balls, the more chances somebody's going to get hit on the on-deck circle. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, guys, we are about out of time, but you know what? Thank you for joining. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And guess what? I told you guys at the beginning of the show, new stuff coming tomorrow morning, starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, live. I will be doing a sports wrap-up. It won't just be Giants. It will be a little Giants, but it will be NorCal Sports Network, national look at what's going on in sports, any big news, any big rumors, anything happening that may have been big news. We'll cover it. It'll be a short 15 to 20-minute show. It'll mostly be me solo, but it will be live. It will not be a recorded, so you will be able to jump into the chat, make comments if you want to. And if we have time, we'll put the comments up. But it will be a little preview of each night's Giants game coming up. My prediction, I will pick the winning hat, what I see for the game tomorrow. And again, be some national coverage, some 49er coverage, maybe whatever's big, whatever's happening. Maybe it's Ayuk getting traded. Maybe it's Ayuk signing. Maybe it's something else. Maybe there's a Warriors trade happening. We don't know what's going to happen, but I will cover it at 8 o'clock live starting tomorrow morning. And later in the week, I think it's Wednesdays, Thursdays. I got to look at the schedule, but she might not be in here anymore. But Red Jet Shell there, you see in the chat, she will join me live for 1 to 2 days a week. And we'll add some female perspective to NorCal Sports Network.
Oh, look out now!
Yeah.
Them females, they can get a little uppity.
Yes,
Red's gonna bring some passion to the show from female perspective. And she knows her sports. She knows her sports.
Yes, she does. And we're gonna get into some of the stuff that she does and creates. She creates some fantastic artistic stuff on Instagram that she puts out. So she'll be joining me midweek, I believe, twice a week, I think is her schedule. In fact, I could look it up right now and tell you what it is if I can find it. Don't quote me because I'm not very good on finding things through.
I know Red Jet likes the Giants a lot, but she really loves the Niners.
Yes.
She's very, very passionate about the 49ers. So be prepared for some 49er talk.
Hey, maybe I can get this woman on the show one day. You know who that is, right?
Yes, she's
Laura Britt.
Laura Britt.
She's on NBC Sports Page. She's at the Olympics, so when she gets back, I will try to reach out to her. I could
be wrong, but is she trying to get on MLB Network?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly.
I want to say that I heard her audition for that. There was somebody else from the Bay Area that there was a 49er beat writer that is on an MLB Network now too. So yeah, the Bay Area has some good media personalities that are moving on to national shows. So good.
Oh, there we go. We got hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I want to get out of here in less than 2 minutes because I don't want to go over 2 hours because it makes it hard to hold on here. Can I do this? I don't have it. Wait.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about. I would have. Oh, maybe we can get a couple minutes. I would just love to talk about Curry and just the absolute.
Oh, guys, yes.
Check out show he put on, man.
Check out the show I did yesterday on the USA men's basketball. There's a video out on it, and Steph Curry it's all about the USA men's basketball team and Steph. That was awesome. I want to pull up something that was just sent to me by Spencer Kitchen Handy, who won the tickets for Wednesday night. Let me show you if I can find it here in a sec. Okay, there's the nets right there, guys. You can see the nets. They do not extend all the way down the line there, but that's from Kitchen Handy. Thank you, Kitchen Handy. We appreciate you sending that.
Turd Ferguson with a great cup.
What's his this one?
Yep. Oh, she was classic. She was Nolan Ryan and her. Go to YouTube and do Morgana.
Yeah.
Morgana and Nolan Ryan.
Hey, guys.
He got on a knee for her.
Yeah. We are out of here, guys. We will see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. First morning show live. Thanks for joining. Tomorrow morning at 8 and then tomorrow night after the Giants game. Goodbye, everybody.